So this next video is going to show you how to colorize your image and to create the illusion of the silhouette having a little bit of detail added to it. You have two layers here. You have one layer that is the normal picture, and then you have its overlay. One of the things you can do is to make it sort of personalized, you can lower down the opacity. You want it to be where you can see a little bit of detail, but you don't need to see a lot. So there's modifications you can make. Now before you go too nuts with it, one of the things you're going to also do is to colorize this figure to create more of an illusion that it is sort of interacting with the background, that it's a little bit more of a graphic image rather than a realistic representation of the figure. So it's pretty easy. You are going to hit Command U for colorizing. The Hue Saturation, this should look familiar. If you want to go old school, you can go to Enhance, Adjust Color, and then one of the selections is Hue Saturation. Down here it says Colorize. So what is going to happen is it's going to be monochromatic. You'll notice that it looks kind of gray, so you kick up the saturation. So you can also adjust the hue, or you can have it match the background perfectly. Now if you wanted to match the background perfectly, what you need to do is to make sure that your foreground color is the same color as the background that you picked here. So I'm using the Eyedropper Tool, and you can see that it picked up this background color. So if I go back to Command U and I hit Colorize and I move up the saturation, what it's doing is it's using the color that is the foreground color in the toolbar. So when you make your variations, sorry, I'm just going to change this again because I was playing around with the hue. You can move the lightness up and down, but you have to take into account, you probably want it to be somewhat brighter than what you would expect, because you also have this overlay to put on top of it. Okay. Another thing you can play around with if it doesn't look the way that you want is you can also mess around with this thing called lighting. Okay, so it's in the same menu bar, Enhance, Adjust Lighting. And one of the things I do is you can adjust brightness, shadows and highlights. You can lighten shadows, darken highlights, mid-tone contrast, so you can see that you really can change up your image quite a bit. So this is sort of extra if you wanted to really make it a lot more contrasty. You can really kind of play around with it like that. Alright, so at minimum you want to colorize it. Alright. So actually I like the way that looks. I like how it's kind of like in bright in some areas, and it has, you know, a really nice contrast to it. So I'm going to leave it like that. Later on I might want to move the opacity up a little bit just so I can see your face just a little bit. Okay. The next steps, we're actually almost done. What we need is some text. That'll be another video. I'll show you how to select something for a white prop. I'll also show you how you can attach, draw in an iPod if you want to be having your figure listening to music. And then there's the third video, the last video of the three left over, is the background designs. Okay, so the next video is going to show you how to put the text in.